Yeah, good evening. Come online, come to WhatsApp. So hello everyone, welcome to the first training session of our 7 days free website development using WordPress, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP, and MySQL. Let me know where you are watching me from, and let's do a quick test to see if everything is running smoothly. Hello, please get to me with your feedback. Is everything running smoothly? I can see Joseph Clue, you said you are here. Okay, I am Eddie. Everything is running smoothly. Where are you watching me from? In the city. I saw some foreign numbers on the WhatsApp platform. I want to know where you are watching me from and whether everything is running smoothly. I am Eddie, smooth from here. Alright, thank you very much. Everything is running smoothly on your end. What about the others? Alright, Caleb also just confirmed that everything is okay. Okay, one more person, then we kickstart. Okay, I am Eddie. I'm watching from Accra. Okay. Is everything alright? Let me know, then we move on. Alright, I have another person from Takrade. Caleb, okay. Alright, so I think we can start. If you can share the link with those on the WhatsApp platform that we've started so that they can join us, that'll be fine. We're about starting. Okay, I am ready. Everything is perfect. Alright, thank you very much. Alright, so in the next 1 minute, we'll start everything all about the 7-day free web development training that is starting today, being the 22nd of October 2023. It's starting in 1 minute. Alright, let's get started. Welcome once again to a 7-day free web development training. I am Amesese and I'll be your facilitator for this course. Today we will start looking at these 3 basic things here. So the title for today's session is Introduction to Web Development in General, Content Management Systems, and Web Builders. So the content of today's session is, there are 3 content. The first one is to introduce you to website development. The next one is to introduce you to content management systems and web builders in general. And then the last thing on today's list is to give you access to a wide range of resources that can help you in this journey of website development. So without wasting much time, I'll head straight to start for the first thing of the day, which is an introduction to web development. One of the things we will learn at the end of the day is, what is it all about becoming a web developer? From the responsibilities a web developer performs on a day-to-day basis, to the set of skills that you need to succeed in such a role, and of course you also get your hands dirty with some code as well as some projects. And then I'll also introduce you to some building blocks of the web to make sure you leave this course having developed your first website. And the first website, we'll do one with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then we'll do another one with content management systems like WordPress. Alright, so introduction to web development. The objectives will be to study the history of the World Wide Web, to review the basics of how to create web pages, to work with structured web pages, and to study web development in general. So these are not my slides, they are slides I got them from the internet and I found them very helpful. So I'll go through the slides, and where I need to explain things for you to understand about web development, I'll do just that. So in 1990 and 1991, this is just history. Tim Berners-Lee created World Wide Web, all that, and then they had hypertext linking that allowed you to quickly open other web pages. Now, a document on the web is called web page, and it is being identified by what we call URL. So if you heard URL and you don't know what it means Uniform Resource Locator, which is commonly referred to as the web address or the website address. or the HTTP address, anyhow you want to call it. The names are being used interchangeably. And the URL is a type of URI, which is a uniform resource identifier, and it is used to point to the location of the internet, of the web pages and the related files, and that is what we call a website. So the URL points to the website, and then we have a program that we use to display those web pages, and those are the ones that we call web browsers. So we have seen how it came about as World Wide Web, and now it is used, we have something that points to it that is called a URL, and then now what program or what container keeps those pages, and that is called a web browser. And then the container keeps them and displays them as a web browser, but then which container are those files kept permanently and are being accessed to be displayed by the web browser? And that one brings us to a web server. And it says a web server is a computer that delivers the web pages. So the web browsers display those web pages, but the web server delivers them to the web browser for it to be displayed. And the most is the Apache server. Now we know what those web pages, we know how those web pages are being displayed on the World Wide Web using the web browser and all those things. Let's try and understand this here. Now we know web browsers display the web pages, web servers keep those web pages, and we see them on our phones, on our laptops and all. But what really goes into these web pages that we see? Who designs these web pages, or who code them, who display all of them? What are some of the tools that these people who code all of these use? These are some of the things we'll talk about. We'll head to the HTML document, the CSS. This is an introductory session, so I would like to quickly talk about web development. Now, who are web developers, or who is a web developer? Let's understand something here. A web developer, you can describe it as someone who has the desire to create things to be displayed on the web, to be able to solve problems. That are able to create programs that are able to solve problems that we see. And the playground of these web developers is your web browser. So your web browser is their playground, in the sense that you sit where you are as an end user and you want to access those web pages. How then are those web pages displayed to you? The server serves the client, or the one requesting for those web pages, to be displayed on your browser, and you as a user, you see those web pages in your browser. So the developer, on the other hand, has to do everything, or has to write all the code that will be displayed with your web browser in mind. So that is what it means by the web developer's canvas is the user's web browser, or the web developer's playground is the user's web browser. Now they use some building blocks, and the first one is HTML, CSS, as well as JavaScript. So these are the people who work behind the scenes to create simple web pages, or a group of web pages, for it to be viewed on the website. And there are different types of web developers who focus on different areas. So let me do a quick demonstration here. So let's say who is a web developer. So you can simply see from Coursera, it says a web developer's job is to create websites. That's as simple as that. So you develop those websites to be viewed by users, to be used by whatever they want to use it for. Now we have three main areas of web development, and the first one is front-end developers, and they develop the front-end user views that we see. And then the forms and the buttons that work on all the flexibilities that you see on your web page, they are the front-end developers. And then the back-end developers, they create something like the backbone, or what's the logic, or the logic that the the front-end is on. So they write code that handle the user's input, for example, login, sign up, forms. What should happen when you click the sign up to fill a form? Where should the data be taken to? All those things come under backend developers. Then combining these two, you get a full stack developer. So a full stack developer does both. It does a little bit of backend and a little bit of front end, and together, that full stack developer is able to bring a full website by displaying quality web pages to you and then working the backend logic as well. There are other many roles in website development, and it includes system architect. Just like in the case of building, we have building architects. We also have system architects. They are the people of they come up with the architecture of the system, or let's say they come up with the architecture of how the website should be displayed and what is happening behind the website, how many users, all those things. They are done by those professionals. And then we also talk about AI. We can also talk about machine learning, as well as security engineers. So web development is not only on this level, there are other levels as well. Okay, so let me quickly get back to the slide. So now, a quick recap. We've known what websites are, we've known where they are being stored as on a web server, and then we know they have URLs that helps to locate them. Now let's dig deep into what are the building blocks, or what is being used to build these websites, right? And it is three pillars. The pillars are just three, but out of these three pillars, there are a number of other frameworks and other things that come into play when you want to build a website on different levels. And these three pillars, the first one is HTML, the second one is CSS, and the last one is JavaScript. The last but not the least. So now, HTML documents. Web pages are created using HTML, which means hypertext markup language, and they are commonly referred to as HTML pages. So now, a basic HTML syntax. Remember, this is an introductory session, so I'll quickly go through them for us to understand. So HTML is a text document that follows formatting instructions called tags. So the whole idea of HTML is that you bring two things called tags, and then you put some elements in between for it to be displayed on the web browser. And that is how come you check the website, and then you can be able to see that there are things that are appearing on the website. Those things are in between what we call tags, and those things are called elements, and they are being displayed on the website. So these are some basic HTML syntax. We have, for a bold typeface, you have the D having the opening tag and then the closing tag as well. I will explain all these things later when we start delving into deep HTML and CSS. But these are just the beginning, so we'll quickly rush through. And then we also have the head element, which must contain a title, and the title is what will appear on the web browser. So this is the title. While I'm going to show you what's happening. So this is the title of the web page. And then the next thing is to, let's see an example. We have the paragraph. P means paragraph, B means bold. So these are just the beginning of the introduction course. So I won't really go deep. We'll go deep later when we start doing HTML. So let's do web communication protocols. So a web page is identified by a unique address called URL, and this is just for you to understand. Quickly, in the next 5 minutes, I may move to content management systems and then web builders. So these are some of the things we will learn about HTML. We will learn about the protocols, the domain name, the hypertext transfer protocol, the file transfer protocol, how you can actually host a website. You have a host, a domain name, a domain identifier, and we'll talk about all these things as well. We'll talk about web hosting, internet service provider, who an ISP is. Then we'll talk about publishing our sites, how we can register a domain. I'll take you guys through how you can fully register a domain name and then host it, and then you can be able to access the backend of your web server. Yeah, so that is all for the introduction to web development using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. We will then move to WordPress. Okay, let me go through CSS quickly as well. So CSS is the different fonts and the different animations that we see on the website. So style sheets, as its name suggests, you need to get your elements using HTML and CSS. You code them, and then you use CSS to give them some beautifications. There are 3 ways you can do the styling. You can do it inline, you can do internal, you can do external. We'll talk about all these things when we dive deeper into HTML and CSS. This is just to introduce you to see what you can expect during this course, and we'll also move to the content management systems. The content management systems that I intend to take you guys through is WordPress, but let's talk about content management systems in general. So content management systems they are, it's as its name suggests, they manage content. So it is a system that manages content, and when we say content, we mean blog posts, we mean pictures, we mean let's say images, text, audio, and video. So these are content. How do we manage them? We can delete them, we can update them, we can add new content, we can remove, just like I said, delete, and that is the management of the content, and then there is a system that has been created to manage these contents. The most popular one is WordPress, and WordPress is a very popular content management system, and that is what we'll be using for this particular course. It is currently powering over 1/3 of the websites that we see, and it hardly needs an introduction, so I may skip the introduction to WordPress part of this training session, because the moment we start using it, you will know what it does, and then you can be able to take it from there. It is well suited for online publications like blogs and website that is content heavy. I mean, you'll be posting each and every time, you'll be updating, you'll be deleting, and that is what WordPress can help you to handle. And of course, it's absolutely free and open source. Yeah, there are some other alternatives, so let me do this so that will also help you as you start out your journey to become a web developer. So anytime you have any problem or you want to understand anything, you quickly open your browser and you find. So let me do a search like web builders or WordPress alternatives. So from sources across the web, these are some alternatives of WordPress, and they are all website builders. So we have Wix, which is also popular. We have Joomla. Joomla is also popular and open source as well. And Joomla is mostly for people who have like some deep knowledge of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and that is what you need to be able to use Joomla. And then Wix as well, and then Shopify for those who do drop shipping and all that. And we also have Weebly. Weebly is also a development company, just like WordPress and Wix. And they are saying it has been used to create 40 million sites to date. Yeah, so that is some other these are some other alternatives to WordPress. But for the purpose of these training sessions, we will only be focusing on WordPress. So let me introduce you guys fully to WordPress, and then we can quickly end this first session of the training. I don't intend making this particular introduction really formal, because I want you guys to go through how the workflow is being a web developer. So I didn't really plan out this phase of this session to be going strictly according to some slide or some. This is the internet, and this is what we are using to build whatever we are building. So some of the things I'll keep them when we get to the resources section. I'll show them to you. Let's talk about WordPress. WordPress has been in existence for some time now, and this is a place where people create all kinds of websites. You can create your business website, you can create a website for a company, for a church, for a football club, you can create a website for a school, you can create websites where you can sell your stuff, which is e-commerce website. If you're an NGO, you can use WordPress to create your website. And that is what this training is solely going to be based on. But we need knowledge in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to be able to really use this WordPress to the maximum and to our benefit as well, because most of us watching this training session will be using this one to develop websites for other people, and you want to charge them some money for that, and you have to make sure what you are doing for them is what a real web developer will do. If you develop a website with WordPress, it may look like it was developed with WordPress if that person looking at the website knows you developed this website with WordPress. Apart from that, if you're able to do it very well with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, the website may not look like what other WordPress website look like. And this is what WordPress is all about. So it says style it your way, and I'm using their official website to introduce you to it. So design anything you imagine. You can start with a blank canvas. That is, if you are a pro, you can start with a blank canvas, or you can choose for a wide variety of themes and patterns. So themes and patterns brings us to what a theme is in WordPress. A theme in WordPress, there are these things. A theme, how the website should look like. So the menu should go to this side. So let's preview this. So this is how a theme looks like. So the menu should come here. The logo, if there is a post, this is how the post should be displayed. This is a theme. This is also a theme. That if you build a landing page, the menu should come down here. You can also customize it, and that is how the themes work. Now the next thing is plugins. You can plug in and extend. So let's say after using a theme, you've seen a theme and you've seen that this is the theme I want to use for my website. Then you can come to a section in WordPress where we call plugins, and then you can plug anything you want to plug. Social feed, analytics, mailing list, portfolio, contact form. Other ones, they are plugins. Plugins are like additional stuff that you can add to your website. So for example, if you come to my website, I have this WhatsApp logo here, and it's a plugin. This is a plugin. I also have this contact form here, which is also a plugin. So that is what they mean by you can plug in and extend. And you also own what you make, because there are plugins that can help you duplicate all of this and keep it anywhere you want to keep it. So it makes sense that they said you own what you make, and you can create with confidence because it was built by an open source community, and they are working tirelessly to keep WordPress stable. And yeah, without that I can give is that when you go to the plugins area of the WordPress, you can see that there are some plugins that are being updated weekly. There are some plugins that are being updated daily. Some do it 5 days, some do it 2 weeks. So it is open source, and the teams that build the plugins and the themes, they are working tirelessly to keep up with the trends, to keep up with the hardware encoding of the devices, to keep up with the compatibility of the different versions of WordPress. So this is what makes them keep working. So you don't also want to be left behind, and you also have to make sure you are working. So it is one platform, but a universe of possibilities. You can do so many things that you want to do with WordPress. You can build for yourself, you can learn, you can do a whole lot of other things, and it also has a community to support you. Okay, so that is it for WordPress. And we'll quickly move on to do another thing before we head to the resources session. Okay, so though it's an introduction, I still need to chip in this. In as much as it is WordPress, I would have just take all of us through just WordPress and how we can build websites to make money with WordPress. But that's not the goal. The goal is to teach you there is this thing called WordPress that you can use to make websites. But then again, if you learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you can pick WordPress as a tool to to develop any other website that you want to develop based on your knowledge in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So it makes it very dynamic for you. There is a way you can customize everything that you need, and WordPress also offers some hosting services as well. But we'll explore how we can host our websites on different platforms, how we can buy domain from different platforms. There are official hosting platforms that are partnered with WordPress, like Bluehost, DreamHost, WordPress.com itself, which is a hosting platform. So that is it for the introduction to WordPress. Now we have some web builders, and they are part of the content management systems. The website builders, we also refer to them as editors. So they are used in these content management systems to build those websites that you want to display on those web pages that you want to display on your website. So we have Elementor, for WordPress. We also have 10 Web Builder, and these people are growing really fast in terms of AI. 10 Web Builder is growing really fast in terms of AI. That's it for you in seconds. It doesn't take much longer, and they are saying 10 times faster with AI and all. Some two popular web builders that you can use to build your website. Along with WordPress, if you check their website, you can see that you can use it along with WordPress, and they will build the website for you in WordPress, and then you can use the WordPress to manage your content. So again, let me make it straight, or let me try and tell the differences between these two. These web builders, they are for you as in the display, but when we come to WordPress as a whole, it helps you to manage the content on your website. You display those contents on your website, but you can just build them with these web builders. But when it comes to managing the content, that is when WordPress becomes a package for you. Let's say you created a blog and you post on the blog. For example, this post that I made. This post is in WordPress. It is not in my web builder. My web builder is only displaying this post for me. So, like this, these are managed by WordPress, and then the web builders are just displaying all these things, right? So that is how it works. You can use this web builder, 10 web builder, and you can also use Elementor. And then I think there is another one, battery. It is also a page builder that is used in WordPress. So the WP battery is also a page builder that is used in WordPress. Yeah, so you can also use this page builder, and this is a plugin in WordPress. You just install the plugin, and then you can be able to use it to build your website in WordPress. So that is it for the content management systems and then the web builders. Now, for the purpose of the remaining days, I intended to share a link with you that contains the resources that we'll need for the next sessions of this training. The training is 7 days, and let's say if today is introduction, so it makes it 6 days. So tomorrow we are starting with setting up WordPress and build our first content management system website. That is our first WordPress website. Sorry. So we'll quickly head to the resources section of today's session as well. So let me quickly grab that here, and then I'll post it in the chat for you to access all the resources. I'll send a link to this one. And then the resources for this, I'll keep on uploading them. But for now, these are the resources I need. I'll quickly share them with you. We are about getting to the end of the introduction session for today. So if you have any questions for today, you can simply post it in the chat. I'll read and I'll answer. And then I just want you to know that this is just the introduction. Tomorrow we are starting all the work. We are starting with WordPress, and we'll do WordPress for us to understand for the whole of tomorrow and build our first website that we can actually sell and make some money. We'll build to a certain point where we all need to understand building websites with WordPress. Then in the coming days we will learn how we can use HTML, CSS to have with the WordPress. What are they saying? Alright, so that is the drive folder that is containing the resources that I'll be using for the entire 7 days of website development. So you quickly open them, and then when you open them, head to day 1, and you can install any of these. If you don't have a web browser, I recommend you install Firefox due to what we want to do, and then you can also install Sublime Text for the purpose of HTML, CSS, and make sure you install WordPress. It's a 6.3. You install Firefox, you install Sublime Text, and you just download the WordPress. And also, if possible, install this XAMPP. But if you can't install, just keep it. Tomorrow, in the early hours of the training, I'll quickly take you through how you can install WordPress. And then before that, I'll show you how you can install the XAMPP. So that will be it for the resources, as well as the introduction to web development, as well as introduction to web builders. If there are no questions, then I'd like to end the stream here. Are there any questions? Are you facing any challenge from this stream? Alright, so in the next 1 minute we'll quickly end this stream, and that will be it for the day 1 of the 7-day free web development training. Tomorrow we will head straight to WordPress and then start everything from scratch to building a website that we can use to build our skills, as well as make some money out of it whilst we are schooling. Anything you are doing, these things are very easy to learn. These skills are very easy to learn. So thank you very much for joining today's session. And I can see there are less than 20 people who joined for this introduction. I hope the others will join tomorrow. If not, we'll still move on. We need to make sure people who are interested are enjoying the benefits of the training. So I'll quickly end the stream in the next 30 seconds, and that'll be it for today's training. Goodbye.